Welcome to At the Table,
where we are connecting entrepreneurs, discovering missions, and building communities with purpose, body, soul, mind, and business with
Charlie
and Heather with Free Time Solutions.
Good morning and welcome to the table. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And it's Monday.
It's Mindset Monday, where we come together and bring you some
points to ponder,
some personal
things to try,
some tools,
some not feeling alone. The
yeah.
journey can feel alone because we are perceiving the journey from inside of only us. And if we don't connect with the community, it feels very lonely. And that is how Charlie and I got together having these conversations. We were like, oh, you read that too? Cool. What'd you think about this? Oh, you read that too? What'd you think about that? And so we were having these amazing conversations. And we felt like if we were both doing this, that we weren't alone, that there's more of you out there.
And I'm sure that you could use some love and support and, to come along on the journey with us, wherever you're joining us from the journey at.
Yes. So there's room at the table for you.
Yes.
So let's jump in today. If you did not take advantage of listening to Charlie read the chapters, you can go back and do that. They're always available for you. If you want to get caught up, you do some power listening, you could do that, or you just come along for the ride weekly, starting right now. I hope you'll enjoy the journey.
Yep.
So
right now we are reading some very amazing books, which you can hear me read the chapter on Sundays. Career Self-Care by Minda Zetlin
and The Voice of Knowledge by Donnet Agelruis.
Yeah.
And these are fabulous. We've really dived into the wisdom of Donnet Agelruis. And so we've read the Four Agreements, we've read
the Mastery of Love,
and now we're on to the Voice of Knowledge.
Yeah, we've actually read the Four Agreements a couple of times.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like it.
Different points of view.
It's been such life-changing journey.
Yeah.
Taking into account and this is really getting into that voice in our head.
Right.
And
this week we like to call the itty bitty shitty committee.
Right. This week we're talking about how emotions are real.
Yeah.
Like no one can tell you that you didn't have an emotion.
What this brings me to is back when we were kids, we would get upset. We would have an emotional reaction and then we were immediately told that we weren't allowed to have that emotional reaction.
I'll give you something to cry about.
Right.
Good example.
Stop crying. What are you crying about? What are you laughing at?
Oh yeah.
Right. Joy stealers.
I mean, it happened on both ends of emotions, right? So you never knew what you were allowed to feel.
If you were laughing and dancing and skipping around, you were
being too loud, too noisy, and being disruptive.
Right.
If you're crying, you're trying to get attention.
Right. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what is true, because none of that was true.
Right. None of
that was true. None of those things were true. What is true is that you are allowed to have feelings. You are allowed to have emotions, and you are allowed to process those emotions, because if you do not allow yourself to feel those emotions and you hold them in and you suck it up, you pull up your big girl panties and you keep moving on and you don't deal with it, you will have to suffer until you deal with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Dang it. Start calling me out, Charlie. But it's so true.
Yeah,
it is so true. And I like this. Let's jump into the points to ponder. Every emotion that you feel is real. It is truth. It comes directly from the integrity of your spirit. You cannot fake what you feel. You can try to justify or repress your emotions. You can try to lie about what you feel, but you feel it authentically. It's you.
You feel those emotions authentically. You don't have to feel the way somebody else tells you how to feel either.
No. we all have our own experience,
Mhm.
right? And so we have reactions inside of us that are our own.
Mhm.
And there's nothing wrong with feeling the way you feel.
Mhm.
And the actual process of feeling an emotion, the emotion itself and feeling it,
Mhm.
if you are able to just breathe through the process, which I think is great how it goes with the
Mhm.
other book this week, right?
Mhm.
You can get through the emotion of what you're feeling.
Mhm.
And then it's that after you felt the emotion, instead of repressing it
Mhm.
and holding it in your body and then having to get it out in a different way, you can actually process it in the moment.
Mhm.
And that's such a gift to yourself.
And how do you process that in the moment? To me, it looks like curiosity.
Right.
Like I'm having an emotion right now. Or maybe let's say I'm angry or upset about something, right? And anger is one of the hardest emotions to train to breathe through because it's was always taught as a reactive emotion. You're
Right.
angry, you react. So instead, I take a few deep breaths and I ask myself, why am I angry? And I'll go through the 4 agreements. Am I taking it personally? Am I doing my best? Am I being impeccable with my word? Am I upset because the other person's not being impeccable with their word? You know, and I'll ask myself the questions out of curiosity to really figure myself out. What am I actually upset about? And go from there. Because a lot of times it's not even about whatever happened, right? It's about something
Something
else
that happened
totally and
when you
entirely
were
different.
7 and
Right.
you didn't know that yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be afraid of it. It's not like we're saying, hey, you got to go back and do this deep childhood work. That wasn't what I was trying to infer, but it's just so off the wall sometimes because
Mhm.
whatever the other person is doing isn't about you.
Nope. They're seeing it through their own filter.
Right.
Right.
Right. So we've had interesting mornings where I'm running late. And so that's triggered Charlie. I'm triggered because I'm running late. And then all of a sudden we're processing because we process pretty real time, the two of us together. Right.
We worked really hard on it.
And
So-
do we have a process that we kind of like, okay, we talk it out and we get curious and then I realize something about me.
Mhm.
She realizes something about her, and neither one of those things were about the other person, but because it collided, right? It could have been just glossed over, but it was such an opportunity to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like a whole morning, like cry fest, you guys. You know, and we're always working on ourselves. So we'll call each other out on stuff like we were baking cookies a couple weeks ago, right, in the kitchen for an event, and this one was being like really weirdly critical for some reason, and I was like, can you say that in a different way that's not quite so critical sounding, please? And she's like, oh crap, I'm sorry.
And then I took that and I went, why am I
Being
so critical? Because it was like I got that feedback a couple of days in a row, and I discovered it's how my anxiety comes out. When I'm really anxious, that's how it sounds. And that has nothing to do with you. No. Right? Like that's all on me. Like I'm anxious and I'm being all snippety and I didn't even realize it, like, okay, I'm gonna take some extra breathing time. Calm my ass down. Right? All right. Everything you perceive causes emotional reaction.
Right.
You perceive not only your feelings, but your knowledge, your thoughts, judgment, and beliefs. You perceive the voice in your head and you have the emotional reaction to the voice.
Oh, anybody ever get even more mad at yourself for being mad?
No,
or more upset with yourself for being upset?
I was mad at myself a couple weeks ago about the same time as the anxiety too. I was also mad at myself because I wasn't upset about something else. I was like, well, that's stupid. I was like, why? It was like, because I was like judging myself for not being upset about something else.
Right.
I was like,
wow,
cool. How about we not?
So these are the things you start to notice when you're working on this stuff, is like you're upset with yourself because you're not having the reaction that you think you should. Like, it's the judgments in our head, like while we're having the emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then how do you react to that emotional reaction? You're like unpacking it. You're like, well, how did I even get there? I don't know. How about no? How about I just take a break? Oh, let's do one more here. What do we got? Which one do you want to do?
I like this one. Humans are possessed by knowledge, by a distorted image of ourselves. That's why we are no longer free.
Ooh, I thought of Jackie when I read this. Coach Jackie, because she's a freedom mentor, and she is totally helps people break this chain. Right?
Read it again.
Humans are possessed by knowledge, by a distorted image of ourselves.
Okay, I have an example of this. I am putting it out there that I would like to go speak at conferences and things like that in front of groups. I would like to practice some more public speaking and things like that. About a month ago, when I started talking about this, I'm like, this scares the crap out of me because I've never done this before. And I might want to throw up, right? But then I started thinking about it, and I realized that I have been preparing myself to be right here, right now, exactly where I'm supposed to be on those stages since I was in like middle school, right? And that is because I've always kind of spoken in public without even knowing it, right? I've always spoken to public without even knowing it. So what does that look like? In middle school and high school, I played in the orchestra and I was a band nerd. So I was always on stage performing, right? Yeah. Right. So I'm already there. I have 12 years of experience performing on stage in that manner. And then when I was in high school and I worked fast food, I was always working the drive-through, taking orders and stuff. So I'm talking to people all day long with my headset and a microphone, right? You don't think about these things as preparing you to do the thing. And then when I was in the military, I was a bosun mate, and I was always bosun mate of the watch. So much so that everybody on the aircraft carrier, which there's a lot of people on an aircraft carrier, knew me by my voice because I was on watch literally all the time. And so they knew me by my voice because I was always the one on the intercom or the 1MC calling all the different things, whether it was evolutions or whatever, just
giving
everything.
The announcements and
all
everything
the announcements.
over the
and I did that
to
for
the entire ship.
Yeah.
So you had a captive audience that knew your voice.
Yep. And now we've been hosting a podcast for 2 years, right?
I have a similar story because since I was looking, because we've been talking about being our own proof and looking at that, and I was like, wow. So when I was in elementary school, I was the Wicked Witch in a play, like Little Wizard of Oz play. I know anything. So that's still my favorite, right? And then I was in drama class. And then I took part in medieval reenactment, where we did dancing, we hosted events, we did all kinds of things where there was like talking to people and organizing and getting people to do things and that kind of thing. Something happened in there though too, where actually speaking in front of people and not doing something that was my own, I couldn't do. So when I was in massage school, I wanted to improve my public speaking skills. So I actually sought out an open mic that was like in the middle of the night, where I could read my own poetry, but there was really no judgment in the audience. So
because they were either drunk or
yeah, it was an after hours.
No shit.
Yeah, so it was like a safe place to go practice. And then I was in PTA. I've done big events and things. When I was in PTA, the first event I helped put on, the gal that was running the event looked at me as they set up the PA and told me she doesn't do public speaking, and I emceed the night. Like, I can do it. But that's that barrier in our heads, right? That itty bitty shitty committee that like, no. It's so interesting.
Yeah. So look at the proof in your own life of the things that you want to do that you've already have experience doing.
Yeah.
Because am I still a little scared to do public speaking on stage in front of people? Sure, because it's a little bit different than what I have already done. But I know that as long as I go prepared, I'm gonna knock it out of the park. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that happens,
even the speech we did for our 100th episode celebration, which was really raw and emotion for us. So I think a part of the nervousness was we were being so authentic in that speech, but it landed amazingly with our audience.
It did.
So
yeah, there were tears. It was awesome.
We were all crying. It was great. It was really great. So keep pushing yourself towards the things you want, and check out what the itty bitty shitty committee is saying. You get to choose.
Okay, a couple more things to cover before we wrap up today. Career Self-Care by Minda Zetlin. Her exercises to try this week is number 1, use breathing to hack your nervous system. If you practice breathing in like a pranayama, and you can Google it, right? You can pull up some YouTube videos to kind of walk you through a pranayama breathing, but you breathe in for a count of say 4 beats, then you breathe out for a count of say 6 beats, making that exhalation breath a little bit longer than the inhalation breath. It actually stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system and helps you come to a calm place. So whenever I am starting to feel my anxiety go up, or my frustration, or any of those stronger emotions where if I get too pulled into it, I will react badly, because we all do that. I take a few deep breaths.
And when you breathe in, and they were specifically making the exhale longer, so that actually calms the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you breathe in the same, you maintain what's going on. If you breathe out shorter, you actually stimulate it, and you'll make yourself feel more anxious.
Right. So if you want to get yourself amped up, that's the way to do it. But to keep yourself nice and calm, take a few deep breaths, stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, and it'll be great.
And Charlie and I have taken this class called PQ, and it uses like 4 different sciences put together, but breathing is part of it. And that breathing into and really being present in the moment. So
it's a really cool,
it's a way to train yourself.
Number 2, take a walk in nature. There is numerous studies about the benefits of nature and grounding.
Take your shoes off and stand in the grass.
So we are all energetic beings. How do you ground energy? you stick it in the dirt. Okay. Right. And
Think of the lightning
neutralizes
bolt, right?
it. So, put your bare feet on the ground sometimes, in the dirt.
Your body will thank you.
Your body will thank you. Take a walk in nature, right? Touch the trees.
I've actually been instructed by a couple of energy healers to go touch a tree. Like, what is wrong with you? Go touch a tree.
Yeah.
You need to calm your ass down. Go touch the tree.
Go give it a hug. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then her third example, she calls find your own crows. And the idea behind this is she likes crows, right? Crows are like one of her favorite birds. She's intrigued by them. So every time she sees a crow in public, it reminds her to reset, take a deep breath, and ground herself in that moment. When I first started this practice, it was like every time I came to a stop sign or a red light, I would take a deep breath and I would breathe and until I went again, which actually helped me with my traffic
Right.
anxiety and getting
other driver having a reaction to other drivers that has nothing to do with you.
Right. Yeah. So it's just these little tweaks, and things that you can
It's
make
such
in your life
a
that
tool
gives you
for
control.
yourself, drawing in life force,
Mhm.
letting yourself have that oxygen and the chemistry of it, right?
Mhm.
And then breathe it out. Breathe out all the yuck. And then breathe in more life force. And then breathe out what's not serving. And you calm.
Mhm.
I mean, my kids are sick of my kiddo is sick of me saying, take a deep breath. How about another one? Let's go.
One more.
Breathe.
Mhm.
Because the brain, the front part of our brain actually can't function unless we are taking deep breaths. If we are taking shallow breaths and we're in a fear or panic induced, we're only using the back part of our brain. The fight or flight and keep us safe
instead of the logical,
emotional, calm, logical part of our brain. So we call it flipping our lid. And so we need to get that lid back down. And that's how you get the lid down, by breathing.
I love that when you first started this practice with Andy, you guys had like a hand signal.
Yeah, we put the thumb in the middle.
Thumb in the middle, like a B for sign language, and then you fold your fingers over the top to make like a A. Is that an A?
I think it is an A. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
tuck your thumb
so
in.
this is like your brain, the part of your brain that's that this is the only part of your brain you'll use unless your lid is down. So we would actually be like,
I need a minute.
I'm flipping my lid. I have flipped my lid. And this works great because this is when mom needs a timeout too. If my lid is flipped, how am I being as a parent? Right. And then if his lid is flipped, he's in protective mode.
Right.
He can't process what's happening. Like, he needs to calm and recenter. And that's so hard sometimes for our special needs kids to tell us that. So having a way for him to visually tell us
that he's feeling overwhelmed and his lid is flipped, right?
Yeah.
And I love that, because then you can just focus on yourself and your deep breaths and just let him know with your hand, I flipped my lid, I need a minute.
Because that's when we say the things we don't mean, right? And when we have coming from trauma, I don't want to create more trauma. Right. And so that is when we say things we don't mean, is when our lids are flipped.
Right. And I know for me, so many of the things that I know was said in frustration or whatever as a child, I took on as an agreement to myself.
Right. And then I'm saying those things to myself. And I don't want that to be the voice that they're saying.
Right. Because we're retraining ourselves to love ourselves. And we're training ourselves on what is true for us. So
that is a lot. But if your lid is flipped, find your own crows.
Take a few deep breaths and remember that you are loved.
You're already loved.
And you are enough.
You are your own proof.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for joining us today on today's journey. I know this got a little heavy, but that's how we roll. Sorry.
It happens sometimes.
Sorry. So just being real and authentic and sharing the tools that we're doing and learning ourselves. If you would like to be part of this journey, let us know what you're doing too. But stay tuned for our cause of the quarter.
Coming up next.
We got the Black Cat Ball coming up in October. So you should check that out. And thank you so much. Namaste. Mwah. As entrepreneurs, we have a unique opportunity to make a positive impact in the world around us. In a time when the world is shifting towards supporting local businesses and embracing community-driven initiatives, it becomes even more important for us to give where our heart leads us. At the table, we believe in the power of giving back, and that's why we have our cause of the quarter. This quarter, we are proud to support Perfect Pals, a local organization dedicated to rescuing and providing care for stray cats in our community. By supporting local causes like Perfect Pals, we not only make a difference in the lives of those in need, but we also contribute to the growth and well-being of our local community. We believe in small acts of kindness, and they can create a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring others to do the same. As we shift our focus solely from supporting large corporations to championing local businesses and giving back, we not only strengthen our community, but we also foster a sense of connection and unity. Together, we can create a thriving ecosystem where everyone can flourish. So let's follow our hearts and give where it truly matters. Join in supporting Perfect Pals and making a difference in the lives of these furry companions. Together we can make our community a better place, one act of kindness at a time. Thank you for being part of our journey and for embracing the spirit of giving. Together, let's create a brighter future for all. Are you tired of juggling endless tasks, struggling to find time for what truly matters? We have the solution for you. Introducing Free Time Solutions, your ultimate partner in reclaiming your time and maximizing your potential. At Free Time Solutions, we specialize in helping businesses like yours thrive in a digital world. From social media management to website optimization and branding, we have the expertise to elevate your online presence and streamline your operations. Imagine having time to focus on what you love to do while we take care of your business. With our dedicated team of experts and innovative solutions, we leave you free to pursue your passions and achieve your goals. Whether you are a small business owner, entrepreneur, freelancer, we offer comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal is simple: to give you back time, freedom to do what you do best while we handle the rest. So join us at the table and let Free Time Solution empower you to take control of your time and unlock your full potential. Visit our website at www.yourfreetimeback.com. That's www.yourfreetimeback.com to learn more and schedule your consultation today. Free Time Solutions, your partner in success. Let's make the most of your free time together. Thank you for joining us at the table. Stay tuned for weekly readings on Sunday, Mindset Monday, discussing our weekly readings on Monday, and on Friday, our interview and potentially guest hosts. Stay tuned.
Thank you for joining in on the fun. Be sure to like and subscribe for more.